for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So, the Diddy trial has started. It is the U.S. versus Diddy, the U.S. versus Sean Diddy Combs, which is just a crazy situation to be in. It's not a state case, it is a federal case. You know, the feds have a high conviction rate. Last I heard, I think it was like 90%. I think I've heard some people say 80 something percent. Nonetheless, it's a very high rate. Now, NBA Youngboy was recently able to beat his federal case. I think it was like dismissed or something. But again, you know, these are people who have a lot of money. Your attorney, in my opinion, has to have a lot of connections in order to get to that point, in my opinion, because you're going to do some sort of time. And I think there's a lot of things going on. Now, a lot of people are focusing on the Cassie part because it appears like Cassie is the one who kind of, you know, started this. However, supposedly Diddy had been being investigated for some time. I don't know why he was never approached. There was a rumor that he actually had connections in law enforcement, and that's the reason why, you know, he has always kind of gotten away with the things that he has done over the years to different people. There was a case, the case is probably over 20 years ago. The case where Shine was convicted of shooting someone in a club. Apparently, he was not actually the shooter. Apparently, it was actually Diddy, but Shine is the one who did, I think he did 7 or 10 years. And he has always said he was innocent. The victim said that it was, I think the victim said it was both. Anyway, I'm reading this article from Yahoo News. Diddy plans to smear Cassie as mutually violent as his defense. This is by Ebony Boykin Patterson. So, Sean Diddy Combs' legal team is painting the violent Cassie Ventura video as just one side of a mutually violent relationship. According to TMZ, this disgraced rapper's lead defense attorney, Mark Agnifilo, told the judge Friday that the team is going to take the position there was mutual violence in their relationship. This comes after Combs first denied the allegations of physical abuse, which is true. At first, he denied it until the video came out. So he denied the allegations of physical abuse in Ventura's 2023 lawsuit against him, calling them offensive and outrageous, before he was caught lying last May when CNN released footage showing him savagely beating her in a hotel hallway. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hi, Knockout Gaming. So Combs is not denying the allegations this time, and he can't deny it now because the video is out. According to his attorney, we are absolutely going to admit to domestic violence, Agnifilo said, according to TMZ, but at what point does it become coercive? Now, I really don't understand why Cassie stayed for 10 years. And I think I saw a report where there were points in the relationship where she did leave or she did have relations with other people, but that was all while living with Diddy, still having some sort of connection to Diddy. So I just kind of feel like the reality is what it was not just based on, you know, there was this violence and kind of thing. I think she's almost acting as if, you know, he forced her to be with him, but she said she had, or there were other people that she was involved with. So why didn't you completely leave and be involved with these other people? Now, also, maybe she really couldn't, because this other side of it, which I think Cassie's is going to speak to, is the fact that when she did try to leave, for one, Diddy blew up Kid Cudi's car. He almost killed Kid Cudi. He blew up his car because she was having, some sort of relationship with Kid Cudi. There was another instance. Allegedly, this is the reason why Michael B. Jordan is being mentioned in the case, is because Diddy allegedly threatened Michael B. Jordan. So really, she really and truly couldn't get away from him. Now, why he allowed her to leave, finally, I don't know, because she ended up ultimately with her trainer, and I guess he's the one who really helped her to get away from Diddy. So it could be argued that, hey, you stayed in this relationship, you willingly participated, but then when you look at those other factors, I don't know how he's going to be able to fight those other things. There's going to be proof. There may be text messages. There may be recordings that show that even when she tried to leave, Diddy did these little manipulative things that caused for her to remain in the relationship forcefully. So I think it is going to be hard to prove. I don't see him, you know, having a win in this case. I mean, I will be surprised if he gets less than 20 years. And this is not the only thing that he's being accused of. From what I understand, this is a RICO. Now, I don't know who else is going to be a part of the case, because typically a RICO is for more than one person. But so let's see here. Sean Diddy Combs. Okay, so the team will submit a corrected version of the CNN hotel footage to prove that both parties were violent during the 2016 hotel incident. So apparently there is footage, according to this article, that is going to display the fact that Cassie was not the only one that was participating in being violent in that viral video that we saw, where he was putting his hands on her. But it did not, it's I don't know. I think that's a lie, because we see him actively running. He has a towel on. It looks like he was probably in the shower when she snuck out. And she looked like she was sneaking out, sneaking away from him, trying to get away from him. It looks like he was in the shower, and then he left out of the shower and realized that she was gone, and that's when he ran out into the hallway to go get her. So I don't think that there would be any struggle in the hallway that we would see, or any footage. So unless she got up and just started hitting him. But I mean, reacting to abuse, I don't think that makes you abusive, because she's reacting to what he did to her. So there's also 2 cell phone videos taken of the beating by a security guard that will supposedly show that Ventura was being just as abusive as Combs. So maybe that was prior to the incident. I don't know. The disgraced mogul turned down a plea deal earlier this month to risk defending himself in the sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution case. So those are his charges: sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution. Now, also, what I would say is, even if there's a video of Cassie slapping Diddy or doing something to Diddy, I don't think that that would have an impact on the public or our perception or even the jury, because let's look at the video that came out with Solange and Jay-Z, where we see Solange basically attacking Jay-Z. That could have killed Jay-Z's career. That could have killed Jay-Z's reputation. The only reason that did not kill Jay-Z's reputation is because he allowed her to hit him. Now, it's wrong either way. If we flip that situation to where Jay-Z was the one who was kicking and punching at Solange, and Solange was just standing there, we would forever brand Jay-Z as an abuser. But because he did not react, his reputation remained unstained. And Solange didn't get any backlash for that, because she was looked at as like a hero, and everyone concluded she was probably protecting her sister. No one sees Solange out and about and calls her an abuser. So there is that double standard there, because Solange didn't get any backlash from that. So I guess my point is, even if we saw a video of Cassie hitting Diddy back, I don't think that's going to change anything. I don't think that's going to make us believe that, Cassie was the one who was the abuser in this situation. I think it's going to just show that she was trying to defend herself. So I can't imagine a video that would come out that would help him, or any footage or anything like that that would help him, because the prosecution is actually probably going to be able to paint Diddy personality wise, because that's the important part. There's going to be able to be other people to speak to Cassie's character. Was she only like this in this relationship with this person? Because this is what this person was doing to her. This is how this person was treating her. She was trapped in this abusive relationship of someone who was probably obsessed with her, would not let her go, because she would try to go and have other relationships, and then he would blow up their car or he would threaten them. And then outside of that relationship, who is Diddy? So his attorneys are going to have to paint a picture of Diddy's reputation or his brand as a nice guy. But then there's Dawn Richardson, who also has, an experience where Diddy locked her in a car for hours. And there's people from Making the Band who can speak to their experience with him that they say are not good. And they're going to be able to say, things about his personality that are not going to be able to paint him as this nice guy. So I think that is what is going to round up everything to, who he actually is as a person. That's where that's going to play a part. Because I think that's what helped Jay-Z and Solange's situation, as far as what went down in the elevator. So I don't think that is going to work. I don't think that's going to work. So let's see what it says here. So he turned down a plea deal, basically. So I think he's looking at like 20 years. The disgrace, sources told Deadline that Combs feels confident. Oh, really? So he feels confident that he can beat the charges. He seemed confident he would do so when he greeted jurors on the first day of his trial this week, nodding at them with his hands in his pocket. Now, I listened to Armand Wiggins, and he's basically reporting that he's down there. He's in New York for the trial. And he was, describing Diddy's demeanor, how he was, kind of very, not to say shy, but kind of, he's not as bravado and cocky as he usually is, but he's more so kind of like, very timid and not as braggadocious as his personality usually is. So all of that stardom, Hollywood, is out of the window. And, he's very humble now, is what I perceived. And so that's not going to help him here. And let's see here. Okay, Combs. Okay. Things seem to go Combs' way the past 2 days. The defense was granted additional time to wrap up jury selection, which was supposed to end on Friday and will be extended until just before opening statements on Monday. By holding the final phase of selecting jurors on Monday, there's less of a chance for jurors to drop out over the weekend or be influenced by other factors. Okay, the prosecution opposed the delay, according to The Guardian. Combs had another win this week, too. The prosecution's star witness and her attorney have both gone missing ahead of the trial. Oh, yeah, I think that was I was reading about that with something about victim 3 or something like that. So victim 3, as she has been referred to in the court documents, was set to testify about decades of abuse she suffered at the hands of Combs, thus establishing a long-standing pattern of behavior. And that's what I'm talking about. That even if they try to come and say, hey, Cassie was mutually violent, all of these other surrounding factors is what is going to nail things in for him. So you're trying to tell me that, this young girl that you met, all of a sudden, because she's violent as well, that this is the reason why, you beat her down in that video, which still doesn't make it, excusable. But the fact of the matter is, you have a pattern of doing this. There's so many people that are able to speak to your toxic and abusive behavior. Now, I don't know how true this is, but Gene Deal said that, Diddy has slapped his mother before. And also, there has been reports about how he treats his artists. So there's so many different people that would speak to, Diddy's behavior, that will just be able to support what Cassie is saying. Now, allegedly, there are people, celebrities, who are going to come to speak on Diddy's behalf. And there's also celebrities who are going to come to speak on Cassie's behalf, or basically for the prosecutors as well. So I don't know how well that is going to work out for him. I don't think that this trial is going to work out for him. So let me see this article here. Diddy's lawyers plan to accuse Cassie of domestic violence during the trial. Let's see here. Let me see. Okay. All right, I'm not seeing this article, but oh, here it is. It just popped up. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer says that they plan to accuse his ex-girlfriend Cassie of domestic violence during his sex trafficking trial. So that's also another part of the trial. A lot of people are focused on the abuse video, but also he's being accused of sex trafficking. So Reuters reported that Diddy's defense attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said during a jury selection hearing in the New York City court on Friday that he would attempt to undercut Cassie's credibility by referring to allegations of mutual violence during her relationship with the mogul. I think we're probably going to refer to that as domestic violence, Agnifilo told the court. U.S. District Judge Arun Subramanian indicated that he would decide next Monday, which is May 12th, whether allegations of domestic violence could be admissible during the trial. Now, Cassie, who is 38, is expected to be called by the prosecution to testify as a star witness as Diddy faces charges of racketeering, conspiracy, 2 counts of sex trafficking, and 2 counts of transportation for prostitution. Diddy, who is 55, has denied all allegations. Of course, he's denying it. Cassie's representatives declined to comment on U.S. Weekly about Agnefilo's latest court statements. In May of 2024, CNN aired security camera footage appearing to show Diddy assaulting Cassie at the now closed Intercontinental Hotel. Oh my gosh, it's closed? In 2016, Diddy responded to the footage release with a public apology. Okay, so it's difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. Diddy said days after the video's release, I was effed up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior in that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. So he continued, I went and sought out professional help. I've been going to therapy, going to rehab. He had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry, but I'm committed to being a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry. Diddy was arrested in September of 2024 on charges including sex trafficking and racketeering, with jury selection beginning for his trial in New York City on Monday, May 5th. The pretrial hearings have already been eventful as one prospective juror was dismissed after admitting she'd once fainted after a teacher brought up the topic of oral sex. What? The pain have been available. Oh, she was okay. So basically, she was dismissed because of the nature of the case. She probably would not have been able to withstand some of the details of the case. Okay. So one of the jurors were dismissed because of, I guess, past experience that, would indicate that she might not be able to withstand some of the details. Okay, the coming home rapper surprised court observers by appearing at his hearing with a beard and hair that had gone fully gray. While hair dye is not allowed at the Metropolitan Detention Center where Diddy is being held, jury consultant Alan Turkheimer told U.S. Weekly exclusively that Diddy may have deliberately taken on a new look. Oh, okay. Who is that? Jury consultant. Oh, he's a jury consultant. Okay. There is no doubt that he is letting his hair go gray purposefully, Turkheimer told the U.S. Now, if hair dye is not allowed, how could it be on purpose that he's going fully gray? This guy doesn't make any sense. If hair dye isn't allowed, of course he has no choice but to allow his hair to go fully gray. But okay, carry on. The hope is that given the lascivious nature of some of the alleged acts he participated in, the jury sees a more seasoned and grown-up version of his former self. The jury expert also theorized that Diddy's choice to go gray could be interpreted as a sign of remorse, given the serious nature of the sex trafficking and racketeering charges he's facing. It is a way to convey remorse without any kind of admission of fault or wrongdoing, he added. There is a more mature and gentler individual. Many of these assessments of a defendant take place subconsciously as jurors process his entire appearance. Several celebrities have been mentioned during the early jury selection process, while some stars mentioned, such as rapper Kanye West. I don't think they need to bring Kanye West into this, okay? He's not going to be somebody who is able to give anything, any information, or any credible nothing. Cassie's ex-boyfriend, Kid Cudi, and former Danity Kane member Don Richard have personal or professional connections to Diddy. It's not clear why jurors were asked about their familiarity with former Saturday Night Live star Mike Myers or former Destiny's Child singer Michelle Williams. I didn't know Michelle was in it too. But these individuals may have witnessed or been in proximity to some of the things that occurred. I'm surprised Jay-Z is not mentioned. Diddy has been held in a federal correction detention center in Brooklyn since his arrest last year. Jury selection for the case is set to be finalized as early as Monday. Judge Subramanian has projected that the trial will last around 8 weeks. Yeah, so the trial is going to be about 8 weeks. But also, Cassie is going to be a big part of this. And I think Diddy is probably sitting there and regretting the fact that he So Diddy is probably regretting the fact that, he had an opportunity or a chance to pay Cassie off, but he did not. He had the opportunity to do that, but he did not. Secretly, not when she filed the lawsuit. I think he called her bluff, and he did that a lot with people, even though he was highly, influential, had a lot of money. There was a lot of reports that, he was kind of cheap. So he probably regrets not doing that, not secretly coming to some sort of agreement with her, because maybe all of this would not have happened. And Mark Lamont Hill made reference to that as well, that he probably, should have just paid Cassie off when she initially started to, try. And that's why I think I go in between as far as Cassie, because my mind wavers in between, because did she really just want to be paid off, or did she really want justice? Because she was willing to accept the money. She was willing to accept that. So I don't know, my mind wavers when it comes to what Cassie's real end goal was, or whether she was in the relationship knowing that, hey, it was kind of transactional, kind of thing. And of course, nobody deserves to be abused. However, I definitely think that, even the fact that, look at how she left Ryan Leslie. She was introduced to Diddy through Ryan Leslie. And it almost seemed like she left Ryan Leslie in order to gain more opportunity with Diddy, because Diddy was more influential, obviously had more money. So did she kind of, bargain with the devil there by social climbing? Was she social climbing, and this is what she bought herself into? But yeah, what do you guys think? Definitely would love to get some feedback. Comment down below and let me know what you think. Thank you for tuning in.